Pennsylvania State Police believe that Scott Soules started taking advantage of his autistic coworker in March. For 5 months, he accepted cash payments, and in return, the victim was promised friendship.
Hey special family, welcome back to another Furious Reaction video. If you're new here, I'm AutismMom, and on today's disgusting video, let's take a look at the video, because you'll be disgusted too.
Pennsylvania State Police believe that Scott Soules started taking advantage of his autistic coworker in March. For 5 months, he accepted cash payments, and in return, the victim was promised friendship.
And just trying to get friendship and wanting to have friends, and somebody's going to prey upon that works with them.
According to Soules' criminal complaint, he began arranging meetups with the victim at the dealership. The man on the spectrum would leave envelopes of cash. Soules kept telling the victim that he would introduce him to new friends, but never did. Over 5 months, the man on the spectrum lost nearly $5,400. The Westmoreland County District Attorney's Office is working on ways to get that money back.
And he was instructing the autistic gentleman to drop off the money into his vehicle so that other people wouldn't see the hand-to-hand transaction of the money. He had him deleting text messages, and our victim was doing that. He was doing that because he just wanted to get friends.
Hillview Motors has no official comment about the case. However, they did tell me that Soules is no longer with the company. He faces numerous charges, including theft by deception, extortion, and unlawful taking.
$5,400 for friendship. You see why we don't celebrate autism on the spectrum? You see why we don't celebrate that our kid has autism? Because there are pariahs out there preying on our special need kids because they don't know any better. So they're preying on them. In this case, $5,400 for friendship. $5,400 is what friendship cost this man. Just because he wanted some friends. He's autistic, he doesn't know any better, and he keeps taking the word of somebody because he thinks an adult knows everything, says the right things. This is not okay. They should jail him, then sue him, and don't give him $5,400 back. Give him $10,000 back, because he deserves double. Let me know what you think in the comment section, because I'm so disgusted.
Beyond the one disabled person that is unalived by their caregiver a week, caregivers abusing disabled people is actually really common. In fact, 68% of adult disabled women have reported being sexually assaulted by their caregiver, and 67% of disabled women have reported physical abuse by their caregiver. This isn't unique to women. Disabled men have also reported being physically abused, sexually abused, financially abused by their caregivers. Earlier, I made a post about how a disabled kid was punched to unalive by his mother, and a lot of the comments were about how the kid probably didn't understand, and justified it by saying that. These studies where disabled people are reporting their abuse is proof that disabled people understand. Imagine all the people who cannot report it. These stats are probably so much higher. We need to stop painting murderers as merciful and create better policies protecting disabled people.
Did y'all hear about the caregiver that got caught raping one of his special needs handicapped patients? Yes. So everyone thought it was a normal day, right? So this guy saw a handicap van parked in like an unusual spot. From the video, it just looks like he was literally going to make sure everything was okay and check things out. He was curious. He gets to the back of the handicap van, and y'all know what handicap van I'm talking about. It's the ones with the double doors open up in the back. So the guy gets to the back of the handicap van. Why is the caregiver seen? And this is all on video. The caregiver is seen in the middle of graping one of his special needs handicap patients. Yes. When a guy walked up on the caregiver and caught him, the caregiver started zipping his pants up and helped the special needs patient up, helped her up. And they start slowly walking. He's like guiding her, trying to like help her and assist her to get back into the truck. You're her caregiver. Why are you sitting up here sleeping with them? They are not even able to fully give you consent. Why are you graping those that you're supposed to care for? Literally taking advantage of those in need. These people's families trusted you with them. You're supposed to be taking care of these people. And you are sitting up here getting horny. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you need more than jail. Like, whoever is related to that woman that you did that to, they need to come see you. I mean, they need that. Like nobody's safe anymore. Young, old, disabled. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe at all. You can't trust the damn daycare worker or the damn caregiver. Like, This is insane.
And so you see how our kids are being taken advantage of time after time after time, because people don't see them nothing more than as disabled. Let's take a look at some more videos of where people with autism were taken advantage of, so you see why we don't celebrate.
Why are so many autistic women taken advantage of by men? We miss the social cues. We take people at face value. We assume that people mean what they say, because we do. We don't always pick up on the flirting and the manipulation, and by the time we realise that something's off, we've already internalised that shame. We will replay that moment over and over. What did I miss? Did I lead them on? Was it my fault? And it's not just about being vulnerable, it's about being misunderstood by them and by ourselves. Because when you're autistic, you don't often realise you're even in that situation until it's too late. And then when you tell someone, they will act like you're the problem. But we're not the problem. The problem is a world that preys on confusion and punishes difference. A world where men know they won't be held accountable if they prey on a woman that will struggle to explain what happened. And that happens way more than people realise.
A shocking betrayal in North Yorkshire. A man who posed as a friend has been unmasked as a fraudster who drained a vulnerable woman of more than £15,000. Robert Wiles, 36, from Malton, didn't just exploit trust, he weaponised it. Over 2 years he pressured a disabled woman to hand over payment after payment, convincing her she could even face investigations if she refused. The victim, in her 50s, thought Wiles was protecting her. Instead, he left her with almost nothing each month, destroying her finances and her peace of mind. In her words, "He ruined my life." Police later uncovered how calculated his scheme was. He even persuaded her to change banks after staff grew suspicious of the transactions. Proof this wasn't a mistake, it was manipulation from start to finish. And when questioned, Wiles showed zero remorse. He coldly claimed she deserved to be alone. Imagine that, a man caught stealing from a vulnerable woman, blaming the victim. In court, he admitted fraud and was jailed for just 21 months. No compensation, no real repayment for the damage caused. So here's the controversy. If the system allows someone to steal from society's most vulnerable, show no regret and still walk away with under 2 years inside, what message does that send about justice in Britain?
A 24-year-old autistic son almost got fired from his job, and he really didn't even know why. So here's what happened. But before I tell you the story, here's 2 things that I want all of you parents that have children with autism or really any developmental disability to know. You are always going to feel like you're not doing enough. That's number 1. And number 2, you're always going to miss something. Those are 2 facts that I have learned on this journey. I want to share what happened. So day before yesterday, Q came home and he was markedly stressed. You could see it all over his face. And when I asked him what was wrong, he said that his boss had called him into the office and asked him if he was clocking in for someone. And he said yes. Well, he explained that his boss told him not to do that, and I asked him, did he understand why he wasn't supposed to do that? And he proceeded to tell me that his coworker expressed to him that he can't get fired from his job and he needed him to check him in because he has a child, yada yada. Well, in my son's mind, he has to help people. And he didn't understand that clocking in for someone was really stealing time from the job. And so when I say that you're always going to miss something, I did everything that I knew to prepare him for the job. Definitely told him all the do's and don'ts. But I never explicitly said to him, hey, if anybody asks you to clock in for them, that's a negative. Nope. That's no. And so essentially somebody gave him a sob story and he felt like he was helping a coworker and had been clocking him in. So needless to say that after I explained to him, 1, you get to your job on time. As a matter of fact, he gets there early. He doesn't have to be at work until 7:30 and he's up at 4:30 every morning. Still beyond me. But nonetheless, so he understood that, okay, he's supposed to follow the rules because he's definitely a rule follower. And after having a long conversation about the rules and how his coworker was actually breaking the rules and used him to break the rules, he understood it crystal clear. But without me having that context for him and explicitly telling him that, he had no idea what that really meant. And some people might say, well, how could you not know? Trust me, he didn't know. So in any event, thank God, he ended up with a warning. And clearly he won't ever do that again, but he had to sign that he was warned about that. And so I just wanted to share this story because, you know, I'm like, okay, how could I have missed this? I really try to be as thorough as I can be with teaching him everything that I need to teach him. And that's why I came to the realization that it's definitely two things for sure on this journey. And again, number one, you're always going to miss something. And two, you're always going to feel like you didn't do enough.
In order to protect ourselves as neurodivergents, we need to use our pattern recognition to our advantage. If you've been taken advantage of a couple of times, or even just your sensitivity to an environment can be used to your advantage. For example, if you're in a work environment, start to notice a bit of hostility towards you from a specific person, maybe even more than one person. This second you start to notice this, you need to start taking notes. And this is going to be difficult for neurodivergents who have been conditioned to believe that they're overly sensitive or they're dramatic. Let me tell you right now, you are not. You are not sensitive, you are not dramatic. You have advanced pattern recognition, intuition, and you are more sensitive to subtle changes in even emotional atmospheres. That is your strength, and don't let them tell you different. As soon as you start to notice something going a bit awry, start taking notes that include dates, times, and specific details. For example, at 10:59 a.m. on Tuesday, the 16th of September, Barbara made a comment about my weight, saying blah 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 blah. Then, if your pattern recognition is correct and Barbara continues to make comments about your weight or disrespectful comments, you've started the log right from the very beginning. You have dates, times, blah 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 blah. So then when a situation comes up where you have to inform HR, you have to inform your boss, and Barbara tries to deny it. Oh really, Barbara? Because I've actually got a list of dates and times and maybe even witnesses to every single comment you've ever made. Yeah. That shows corporate you're not to be messed with. That shows HR you're not to be messed with. Once you have this list as well, if it does take a formal route when you're complaining or something, you might want to also seek sort of legal advice or tips before you make the complaint, just so that you can even use buzzwords that might indicate to the company that you know what you're doing and they can't really take you for a mug. I might expand on that part further in another video.
I hope this video was an eye-opener. An eye-opener of what the world looks like for our kids, our family members on the spectrum. We, as caregivers, parents, caretakers, we're scared. And things like this don't make it any better. Catch you in the next video. Bye.